I was born in Setsiment, which is Poland, in 1930, this December 8th. I have one brother and one sister. They are all younger than me. I'm the oldest. My mother was more on a quiet side, but my father was bossy. I've seen him a lot of times pulling his belt up, and if I didn't listen, I got belted. I was just sitting quiet in the corner, you know. There was not much there to say, you know. You just join them. If they laughed, I laughed. You could not voice your own opinion. That was not what I experienced. There was only one boss in the family. It was a socialist family. I don't know if all the families were like that, but there's only one boss in the family. They had a couple of horses, cows, pigs, chicken, geese, the ducks, and a pond. If you are on a farm, you try to be on the water, or at least, you know, you were digging out a hole and collected water. The animals, they need water. You couldn't carry and feed them. You just let them out. You had a fenced-in yard for the animals and a pond with water, and that was the lifestyle on a farm in that area where I was born. They had land, not like galore, you know, but they used up the land wisely, you know, what they did not cultivate. They planted trees, you know, so because it was a good area there. We had 4 seasons, and that helped us that brought some cash in. They took it to the big city, the fruit. That was the next city was Plotsk. My time in school was in a cellar on a water bank. On a Weichsel. They were bombing us day and night. You better pack up, you know. The Russians are so far away from you, you know, and they come and going west. The civilians followed the military, and they took over the property of the settlers. Not modern Russians, they call them the Mongolians, the wild Russians, you know. They were living like the cowboys on horses. They came on horses that's how they approached us, on horses, and then they threw us out, you know, on the street, and now it says we are the owners of the house. Or maybe we were on a road that was close towards the end. Maybe we were a couple of months.
Was your father with you at that time?
No. I don't know if he had connections or what, or he was not drafted right away. If they drafted the people by ABC, you know. But he was in the German army. He was in a prison camp. What we found out, you know, that he was captured as a prisoner, so he was alive. By mouth, we heard that. On a caravan from Setsiment, you know, going west. My grandfather, he had to feed the horses and clean them and just kept going from house, village to village. If the people were stopped in one of their houses in a room, they gave us a room. If not, they have a barn with a hay barn, a straw barn, you know. That was all farms along the Weichsel, along the river. They all had homes. They all had a roof, the people there. They lived as good as they could. They lived better than anywhere else. So that's where Dad found us a couple of miles southeast of Plotzk. He had no telephone or anything. By mouth, he found that we were staying there and there, on that farm. We were staying overnight there. We were sleeping in the barn and take care of and unharness the horses, you know, feed them horses. And then Dad popped up. It was like a miracle, like God is meeting you finally, you know. You were praying a lot, you know. Now finally, you know, there is help. And the help was so great because, you know, he went to the Russian commander right away. In a couple of weeks, he got the permission to leave, to go to West Germany. So the Russian commander supplied the police station, you know, supplied them with a wagon, with a driver, and the policeman, and us all sitting in the back of the truck. And what you had on, maybe backpack, you know, that's how you traveled. That was your livelihood, you know, what you had on. Elbe was the borderline from East and West Germany. If you could go over like the caravans here now coming to America, you know, from Mexico, that's the same way. If you could cross the borderline, you know, it made no difference with a policeman or without the policeman, you know. So, but my father was lucky, you know. He was brought over by a wagon, the whole family, up to there was a railroad going across the river of Elbe. So now when we arrived, the driver knew the map, they're pretty good, you know, where we could go over. We didn't have to walk or swim across the river, where we could walk. There was a bridge, a railroad bridge, you know, and there was no police there, you know, on the railroad bridge. Otherwise, if we would go over a bridge, there was some kind of security, you know, they would not let us go. So when we arrived there, you know, a train was just crossing the river, so we had to wait, sit still, don't get excited, you know, pray. You know, the parents and the grandfather, you know, the mothers, they were praying, you know. The drivers was watching the train, and as soon as the train was passed, he says, now get out, pick up yourself, you know, and walk across, and we're gonna watch you, you know, so nobody will stop you or capture you on the way or right after the bridge. No security there, you know, will stop you and turn you around. He says, he had a machine gun. He says, we're gonna take care of the guy, we'll stop you there, you know, we're gonna kill him, you know. So that was the security for us. The Russians gave, he had such a good report, my dad, that the Russians, they helped him as good as they could, you know, to help them to get to West Germany. So now we are across the bridge, the river there, you know, and now my father says, now you guys turn around and you wave to these guys. And these guys, as we are waving, these guys are shooting like crazy. He let the machine gun go. And I dropped down, we fell down on the floor. We thought that he's gonna kill us now. No, Father says, get up, wave again. That's a salute. They wish you good luck. That was a shooting from what we heard from the guy who brought us in the truck over to the river. So finally we kept going, you know, and there was an immigration camp. There was a camp. We found out again, you know, mouth by mouth from people, oh, keep on walking, there's a camp. And they will take you, they will let you have a shower, you know, and give you something to eat, you know. And there we had to stay, and they were looking to find a family there in Germany, you know, what will have a room for you guys, you know, which will be able to supply your room, or have a small art house on the main house, you know. So we were lucky, you know, that we had an art house, a small house next to the main house, you know. But that was Inzingdorf. Yeah, Inzingdorf. It was a farmhouse. So he supplied us, you know, with work, you know, and whatever, not much. I was a kid, 14 and a half years old, you know, lying around, you know, for the mother and father, you know. My father, you know, well, he was a farmer. He worked right away in a horse stall, you know, and he could cultivate, he could maneuver, he could work the fields. He helped them super out, you know, and they still had to do everything with a horse and camel, you know. There was no tractors there yet either. Well, and then they were still looking for improvement, you know. My father was a go-getter, you know. He wanted better housing, you know. So from there, they moved to another town, about 7 k's away. You know, it was called Waringhof. In Waringhof, you know, so my father says, you know, hey, he said, we got to think of you for your future. What, how will you make a living? You know, you cannot be just a serviceman helping out, do artworks on a farm. You know, that was the only thing, you know, what we were thinking, to work as a labor on a farm. So he says, no, Walter, you gonna go and learn a trade. So he signed up to go for cabinet making trade. So I had to walk a couple of miles, 3 or 4 miles, 4 miles every day. He signed me up in the factory next town. The town was Melle. They had factories there, in a furniture factory, you know, and they put on apprentices. We were three apprentices there, you know, when I started there, you know, and we worked there for 3 years, and then we made a test, and if we passed the test, now you are a journeyman. And then I stayed in the factory, same place, and I got journeyman's pay. And then we started to work papers, you know, to come to America. Well, my father's brother, he was in America already. They were in contact, you know, with letters. He says he has written, you know, that to me all this, you know, that hey, here in America it's so good, you know, is work hand over fist. You can work day and night. If you don't want to sleep, you can work 24 hours a day. That's so good. You know, so we worked hard. They worked hard. They started to work with the offices of immigration to come to the United States, and that took about a year. But Edgar Hoover, you know, was a man. He says, hey, if you find Walter there, you know, when he arrives in New York, you better send him to Chicago, you know. We need him. That man will help building us homes for our GIs who fought and killed the Germans. I stayed here not even a year. I earned enough money that I rented an apartment. I had a car. I bought a 47 Plymouth then already, you know. I could afford to rent a house. and sponsored for 6 more people. And I proved to the American government that I could support them and that I had a living quarter for them. I had an apartment already. I started out, it was rough, I got putting subfloors down, boards, not plywood then, all with 6 penny nails, nailing by hand, day in, day out. My back was killing me. my fingers, my hand is formed. I cannot see. This is how I can straighten out. I like other people straighten the fingers out flat, see? This is how I can hold it. I'm formed to the handle of the hammer, and this here too, have a handful of nails, and just your tips of the thumb and the finger, forms the nail, puts the nail in place, so you can set it in three times, and there was a job watcher, he watched us how we put the nails in. If we're not nailing fast enough, you got punished, you got less pay, or an hour, 2 hours deducted of pay. We were working like slaves, and union men, we were good pay, very good. Then, it was very good pay. They took on, it was an Italian contractor, Boy, he was a go-getter. He had German superintendents, Austrians or Germans, and then the German came over, he helped us, he helped me. He hired me. Well, anybody got a job right away, in the trade. It was so much work, And when the family came over, my father got a job right away with me. He worked with me as a carpenter. My parents said, hey, you live in America here now, and you got to know English, you got to speak American, the words what you're not supposed to know, I learned that on a ship, I knew, but I picked it up. So we had to go to night school. I went to night school. In one night, I had a high school degree right away. That teacher liked me too. She gave me right away the papers, that I got a high school degree. First year, it was so bad. It was so hot. I prayed that when I was here before, the first year, first 6 months, the first week, it was so hot. We had to work like slaves, and I was not used to that, to work outside. Inside, that's a different lifestyle. If you work in a shop, you don't fight the rain, you don't fight the sun, you don't fight the cold wind or the warm wind, what throws you over, that you lose balance, And if I would have gotten the money, I would go right back to Germany, It was so bad for me to get adjusted. But after 1 year, when my family came over, then my dad worked with me because I could speak English already a little bit. Like I said, I had a high school degree. I worked Sears Tower. I started on a foot, 120 feet below sidewalk level, 100 feet. Man, I had to put my head in my neck, to see the sidewalk or the fence, the sidewalk, so people wouldn't fall off and down to the hole. And then a water stream was going through. Can you imagine a river? We had to block the river in order to build a house, build a basement. They had a steel railroad car. They dumped that in to block, put that across the flow of the water, to stop the water flow. and very dangerous, you know. You wonder how the hell is that building staying up? All that stuff what we put in 100 feet below the sidewalk level, that could be all washed out. I don't know, I'm not an engineer, I don't know. But that's what they did, what I seen. And then we put up, we put up forms, another job. We put up forms, you know, for a drive-up garage. Oh, that's good enough, that's good. You got to put up forms, you know, and put the muds in the first floor right away, you know. There was no floor in the, you know, the street level. It was all mud, you know. And you got to put a piece of board in, you know, so that post, a 4x4, would not go into the mud, you know. So you put piece of board flat, and then the post, if the weight builds up on top, you know, doesn't push the post down. So hurry up, concrete is coming, you know. So we said, oh, all right, you pushed us, you know, concrete is coming, and we're not finished shoring up the floor, you know. And sure enough, a couple of days later, after the concrete was floor, the whole floor collapsed, you know. See, but that's America. America has so much money, they don't care. If they would have been lucky, they would have get the pushers, the superintendent would get a bonus, maybe a vacation, 2 weeks vacation, any place in America, you know. It's good living in America. They fix the people, they make the people happy, the pusher, or the superintendent, or the boss. They make him happy. Push. We give you a vacation, we give you a new car. Now, I had still the same car, but working with my dad, that went all in one account, the checks, you know. I didn't have a bank account. Only Dad had a bank account. He took my check, signed the check, son, you know. Then we bought a bigger car, and then we bought a house, and then we bought a 2-flat after 1 year. We bought a 2-flat. Right away we bought a house. And after 2 years we bought a 2-flat. After 4 years we bought a 4-flat. And we kept buying a 40-flat. Higher, more apartment buildings and bigger homes to live. It was amazing. Even the natives, Americans in Chicago, in the neighborhood where we lived, they just went like this. How can you do it? Well, how shall I say? Shut up and go to work. The goal is, you know, the goal in life is, you know, for a human being, what I think is, everybody wants a house, sooner or later, married or not married. That's the goal as a human being on this planet, a house. So anything, you know, you think, you know, you will be busy, you're gonna be busy, you're gonna have a job, is find a special thing, you know, what goes with a house. A plumber, electrician, cabinet making, window man, you know, a roofer, a plumber, I said that, you know. I like the roofer job, you know. I have a roofer's card. I'm a good roofer, you know. And when I had the roof done, I went on top here on the ridge on top, like here on top, I walked. I had my guitar. I took my guitar off from the shoulder. I started out, you know. Oh, by the way, I don't know how to play. I said, oh, by the way, let me finish the joke I started, you know. And then I walked down, you know, with the joke unfinished. And then weekends, you know, we went to the International Ballroom or to the other, where I had a German musicians, crowd, you know. You met all different from different countries, people, you know. And you just danced, talked maybe a little bit, you know, but usually to get out and dance, you know. The European people, they like to move around, they like to dance. That's what I think. That's what I did. And my friends, the guys, we went for miles. Just when we heard there was an international band, we didn't go for the two-step, you know, whatever you call it, jurabok, you know, we didn't go for that. I never danced the jurabok. And it was big, nothing but that, you know. No waltzes, I have not seen any waltzes done on an American band play. But you just went there, you know, and you ask a girl, you know, if you were fast enough, you could get a hold of a girl you like. If you didn't, if you were a little slow, the girls, they were taken by somebody else and danced, you know. That's how it went. You gotta be fast. Yeah, I'll tell you, in Columbus, Ohio, you know, we put in the most fanciest cabinets, desks, wall paneling, matching, the grain was matching for the law office, the government building there. See, I worked there. They called people from Chicago, a Chicago company, and the company sent me and another guy, two guys. And then in South Carolina, I was there a lot in South Carolina. The interior work, you know. Our company in Chicago, they took on all the interior finished cabinetry work. They made it all in the shop. I didn't work in the shop. See, and we trusted the architect, the superintendent, would put up the raw shell. See, and when we arrived there with the furniture we had, the furniture did not fit there. The superintendent, he didn't know, he couldn't read even the plans, how to put the walls in. So we had to, the walls were all finished. Now, what can you do? Make new furniture for the job? Or put the furniture, all the furniture back on a truck or airplane, you know, on a freighter, bring it back to the shop and rebuild it? Or have the two guys, what the company sent out there, remodel the cabinets, you know, on the job and make it work. That's what the boss in Chicago says. Hey, make it work. I got you guys over here, you know. We said, well, the layout here, they put the walls in the wrong place. He said, well, all I can tell you, I send you guys over. He says, make it work. So we had to remodel, do the best we could on the job. See, they trusted me, you know, and whoever else they trusted, you know. But it begins with the groundwork. Once you don't know, you see, if you don't know the basics of anything, you're never going to be good at it. You're never going to fix any problems. First of all, you got to know the basics of whatever you're going to do and get bigger. You got to know how is it started, how did it begin. See, if you know that, then keep on using your fantasy and your ingenuity, and you can improve it more yet. You know, once they think you can do it, then you can do it better yet, and you can get big. The church did a lot of stuff, and Pastor Gerald, he still likes me, you know. The pastor and other people, they knew that I was a certified carpenter or cabinet maker, that I could handle wood, and that I know what you can do with wood. But now that's all different, you know. But the trades, the experience, certifications of somebody doesn't mean anything. Anybody can, now you can be a plumber, electrician, look what your dad can do. Huh? That's very easy, use common sense. You can put sub pumps in, you can wire electric, you know, you can do plumbing, all the pipes he did. Yeah. Now you don't have to be a certified plumber. Yeah. Everything is plastic. And plastic, you know, you just need clamps, cut for size, strip it out, put the clamp on and tighten it with a screwdriver, with a flat head. Flat screwdriver, tighten the screw, you know, and that's your plumbing work. And the same is electric. See, there are different homes. I'm born in Europe, you know. I like the Europe, Germany, they have more pride, huh, in a house. Because, like I said before, a house, everybody wants a house. That's all you are born to live. You want a house, see? And there I see a house. When I go through there, I get the feeling, hey, look at that style, doesn't look, didn't that builder have pride in putting all this in, white and brown, stucco? I like all that stuff, you know. That's proud in how it looks. I go for the looks. When I drive through, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks better. Hey, I'm gonna pull over on the side. I'm gonna keep looking. I don't have a camera with a telephone with a camera I would, you know, but I don't carry all that stuff, you know. I'm an old-fashioned guy. Learn a profession or a trade. Learn something you can live on, or it will earn you some money. Just don't hope, oh, I will make it in life. No, you don't make it. You still need money in this world, you know, that is the problem. And how will you make money if you don't have something, a certificate or a degree? That's what you gotta aim, either way, you know, you have it or you don't have it. But if you got parents that can support you, then you go here, you go there, you make it anywhere. You find something to do, you know. But the thing is, when you have a family, you raise a family, you know, the education, it costs a lot of money. You gotta be a believer. And then take care of your health, your body. Do the best you know how to you and your friends around you. You want the people to, hey, when they see Mason, you know, they say, hey, they smile, you know.